Welcome to day 27 of Austere August, where some of us online are trimming down and sticking to the basics with gear, sometimes just soap. I'm going full tilt, the whole thing, even the same blade for the whole month. It's going fine. 28th, 27th day now, and the blade's actually 2 days older than that. And it's performing really well. It's a Nacet from Gillette. But right now I'm going to stick this Boar knot. This is from Whipped Dog. It's 24 millimeter. Been using it all month. I think I used it 4 times before the month started. So it's kind of as old as the month itself. And I'm really liking it as a Boar brush. I do like to soak mine for about 3 minutes or so. When I started this, brought up the hot water and put that on top of my puck of Williams that's in there. And it looks like Williams is definitely going to go longer than a month. That was what I was told kind of before this, but maybe a month and a half. We'll see. The razor that we're going to use, so that soap has been blooming now probably for 2 minutes maybe. I'll keep track of that. This is the Blackland Dart. Really enjoying this razor. This is the matte version or the machined version. Still got machined marks on the top cap, and especially visible are the ones that are underneath, but that could be that's a little hazy because of the soap. I haven't really washed this razor because I'm using the same blade over and over. All right, so the Gillette Nacet that is in here is one. As we can see, we're about to do its 29th shave. So wow, and I can't even actually tell too much degradation from its 12th shave. Between there and here, it did fluctuate a little bit, but it came back, and I had an exceptional shave just last night in terms of closeness and everything. So I also have this that I will be using. I found online, there was a commenter on YouTube, John L., and he had been using Williams for a very long time and had a generalized theory that he put in his comment, not knowing that I would read it and take it to heart. But much later, it was, he basically talked about the hot soak and then just lathering, loading the brush up and then switching to this, and then how much water to keep in the brush. And so I've been working with some variables to take his generalizations and put some specifics on them, just for me, and to get a predictable, very good lather from Williams. And so what I did yesterday and what I've done in the past is it's pretty simple. The soak of 5 to 10 minutes of hot water on top of your Williams puck. Second is when you take your brush out, leave water in it. And I'm going to load for 20 seconds this time. Last time I loaded for 30. And I've got plenty of lather, so I'm going to try 20 now and see if that's more about right. As you can see, we've got some dripping. Now I'm going to pour away my bloom water. So now we've just got that moist puck of Williams there. And so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and shake it just kind of 3 times. Since it's a shorter load, I want a little bit less water. Can always add it back. And 20-second soak here. Let's see. There we go. We're looking at the wrong timer for just a second there. We started at the 420 mark, haha, and we'll stop at the 440 mark. Just a little, swirling around. The bubbly stuff is going to come up. That's just the way Williams works. And that's a 20-second soak. Load. Okay, so that's what we have on our brush. Doesn't look like much. All right, now take a dry bowl and I'm just going to go into it like this. Immediately it will start with a bubbly lather like this. Make sure you don't shave with that. Just going to mix it around and until it stabilizes, and then we can find out maybe if we need to add more water. It doesn't take too long before a lot of those bubbles will disappear. And sure enough, it's already started. I've ended up with a 30-second load producing, maybe 2.5 more passes of lather than I needed. So I'm pretty sure that the 20-second load is just fine. See, we've already got a good bit of quantity there. Definitely don't shave with that airy stuff you get right away. I think a lot of people who don't like Williams have done that, and they just didn't know. If you're using a bowl, keep on grinding. And see, I've already arrived at something pretty cool. Look at that. Because that light stuff, it'll just dissipate on your face. It'll lighten up in your bowl and go away. Don't want to use that. Now on your face, and I think maybe I'll get into that tomorrow. I don't have a lot of August left to experiment with Williams. So I think I may go back to trying a face lather. But I think on your face, you just keep mixing it. Just like I am in the bowl. It starts off, frothy and bubbly, and just keep mixing it. And now look at this. Look at that richness. But if you're a person who needs speed in the morning or whenever you shave, then maybe a creamy Williams is not going to be something that's kind of going to be achievable by you. But you could probably get yourself to a usable, comfortable Williams. Didn't take me too long to get out of that bubbly stage. Now look how this is sticking. That's actually, in most soaps, this is too dry and I would need to add water. So let's take a little bit off the top here. A little bit of resistance as I'm pressing it in. Slickness is nice. It's providing a little bit of body. I'm not able to feel my fingerprints very much. I do feel that there are some ridges, so that's nice. Those are some things to look for as you learn if you choose to use Williams. Look how jaggedy that is. Most soaps, that's too dry and you need to add water. I think I will add just a touch of water to this one. And so how I will do that is I'll get my little trusty medicine dropper and suck up 2 tablespoons into it. Teaspoons. Why do I keep saying tablespoons? I'm just going to put about a quarter. Someday I'll count the drops and I'll be able to tell you how much that is. Let's go ahead and put in. This looks pretty thick. I'll go ahead and put in a half of a teaspoon. Okay, so now let's just kind of integrate this. And we'll see if we can get the texture to change. But the great thing is this holds water, and so if you like a thinner lather, maybe you're a straight razor shaver, you want that slickness, but to be more in a thin way, then Williams can do that. The modern artisan soaps may be a lot easier to lather, but they break apart when you start adding enough water to really get them going, to get them really slick. But you can also back off on the water with Williams and have something creamy, kind of luxurious feeling. And this looks, yeah, see, already less spiky, more flowy. Gotta be careful so I don't drop my bowl. This Williams is slick stuff. And I mean, look, and it's still got some kind of spikiness to it. With a 20-second, but from what I'm looking at, a 20-second load, still I think I'm going to end up with extra lather. Let's go ahead and add another 1/4 teaspoon. So we added 3 3/4 of a teaspoon of water to it. That means we would maybe shake a little bit less out next time if we want that. I think I'm going to shave with this, but look at all that. Size comparison, it's a lot of lather. And this is not a lather that a lot of people are expecting from Williams. Just got to grind on it for a little while. So this is interesting. I'm learning something about the Williams, where if you get that airy lather, I used to be trying to avoid the airy lather by slowly adding water or something like that. But so what I've learned is let the airy lather come, just work it out. Just keep scrubbing at it and it'll go away and it'll turn into this big old pot full of awesomeness. All right, let me get my face wet and I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave a little bit of excess water on my face just to see what happens, in case this is a little too concentrated. Feels good so far. Can even get back in there, get a little extra lather. That's what the bowl is for. I wonder, I mean, can I go down to like a 10-second load? We'll see. It's so funny because John's instructions were to load heavy, and so I was loading like a minute and 45 seconds, and now I'm down to 20 seconds here. Okay, so now we've got the scrub going on, and I'm just gonna kind of even out the lather. Just a 24-hour shave we're working with here. I shave with cool water, helps to calm any irritation, and I hate waiting for hot water. It looks like I did not need to leave a little extra water on my face. Looks like this lather might have been just right. All right. And I do have hard water, so Williams works great in hard water, as it turns out. About a 30, 35 degree angle. No tugging, very comfortable pass here. Very nice. Nice glide. It's not perfect, but it's not any kind of a harmful drag. And I know from experience that second and third pass are going to be crazy slick. I learned a lot of cases on my neck. It's best if I kind of come in from the outside, just the way my hairs are oriented. Once I figured that out, I got a lot less irritation in the neck area. Rinse. And to compensate for the wetness, I toweled off just a little bit, just a few dabs, so I don't have any excess water on my face. And then I'll reload the brush. It's still a little bit on the thin side, but that's all right. Let's just go get some more lather from the tub. One of the nice things about bowl lathering as opposed to face lathering is you can have the same consistency of soap for all three passes. With a face lather, you often have a much more saturated and creamy first lather, but then you flush that down and it's a little bit more diluted the second time, and then by the third time you may not have enough lather to finish the job if you've got a boar that needs more break-in time and stuff. Or you may need to add more, kind of dip back into your tub, you know, and load just a touch more for that last pass, and then you've got to add more water and stuff. And now it's a skill you can learn, right? You know, so that might be advantageous once you get it learning. Once you get that in your, you know, how much water to add and that sort of thing, then it can shorten your shaves, and you won't have to use a bowl. All right. But I just prefer the bowl. Starting from the outside in, just happens to be good for me on the second pass, and the third I keep my handle a little closer to my face. It makes the blade stand up a little bit more perpendicular to my skin surface, and that just cuts down on my irritation for whatever reason. Watch some of my other dart videos, I explain why. Really slick, lots of glide on here. The razor's just moving around with no problem here. No, and I usually end, this is like a 7 out of 10 aggressive razor here, and I'm consistently getting no irritation shaves at all, and great close shaves. And that's because this is a nice slick soap. It's a nice sharp blade, and I'm able to bring that handle in a little bit more, relieves pressure seesaw style off the blade on the skin. The blade's still touching and doing its job, just not as hard, and so less irritation is my guess. I'm gonna rinse. All right, so now for this third pass, I'm just gonna really get the lather in the brush. This hasn't really been a luxurious feeling shave. It's just been a very good, a very slick shave. And but let's go for a little bit more luxury It's possible that mixing the lather a little bit more will get you there. I was able to get there with a 30-second load, so maybe those extra 10 seconds just gives the soap concentration that you need to have kind of more of the creamy, luxurious feel. And I'm talking about the feel like when I am rinsing away the soap from my face. This one hasn't been all that creamy, but very serviceable, still very comfortable. Just not quite the creamy, luxurious that is one of the goals of what I was trying to chase down in this month. So maybe you need to waste a little bit of soap. With Williams, with the 30-second load, to be able to get more easily get to the creaminess. All right, here we go. Just repeating the same pattern. My cheeks are really easy to shave. Lightly and carefully, keeping my angle. Not really stretching my neck too much, just to keep the skin from speed bumping up. Throw in a wrinkle in the mix, because this razor can and has, it can still generate some razor rash for me. I mean, this is slick and comfortable here. No irritation from this guy. Very nice. Coming from the outside again is what helps this to be a comfortable pass. Otherwise, if I come the other way, I get a little irritation there sometimes. And there we go, 3 passes. Let me pause you while I rinse. Well, I think I sped through that a little too quickly. Plenty of length left on some of my hairs here, so let's do my neck only pass for sure, and then just take a careful focus on good technique, and I think we'll get to a happy place. With Williams, the lather passes just seem to have a much more creamy lather. I mean, look at that. There's no bubbles on that. It almost even has a sheen. And I think it's just because that mixing, you know, that mixing is what brings it to that creamy state. All right, now, careful. Little diagonal action here can often cut hairs a little better. I think the Gillette folks kind of made it popular and called it the slide. This side over here I don't really have to pay too much attention to because it always gets shaved really well. Again, right here, I got to come in from the outside, and that prevents irritation. And there we go. I mean, so what are we on right now? This is the 29th use of this blade. So, I mean, at some point, it's going to start turning, and I'm going to be kind of going down to a different level of cutting. Who knows when that day will be. I'm going to rinse and excuse me. There we go. That's what I was waiting to see. good results. I do see a few tips, but some length on a few tips, you know, but no big deal. Happy with that. 95% baby butt smooth on my cheeks, and that's without even going against the grain. Going against the grain on my neck is very irritating, so that's why I don't do that. You could probably get a much better shave with this setup than I can if you can go against the grain. All right, so there we go. Turns out the water that I added was probably about right. Really happy about that. Another thing you can check on with your Williams is, look at this part up here. It's not drying or anything like that. Down here in the other side of it, you might be able to see a few more kind of light bubbling, but this part up here, good stuff. Very good. A little bit of cushion and very, very slick. To me, that can compete with just about anybody, including $22 tubs of soap. Wasn't too complex to throw together that lather. Just a little patience, a little extra work to get those bubbles out. So what I'm interested in is the rest of August. Now that I've got this particular lather in a good place, if I want kind of luxury creamy, then the 30-second load seems to be about right. If I want just an enjoyable, very slick lather, just doesn't quite have that creamy extra to it, then the 20-second works just fine. And yes, this is a little bit less lather than I had with a 30-second load, so it is more conservative and efficient in terms of economical in terms of soap use. Another thing I saw somebody do is, because this is like a mug situation, and I might just try this, just take your lather and put it back. Somebody did that with what was on their brush, you know. And so there we go. That's going to conserve a little bit. What it's going to do is it's not necessarily going to be what you enjoy shaving with next time, because it'll dry down, but it will help to saturate that bloom water, the soak water, with soap, so that less is pulled from the puck because it's already got some in the water. So there you go. How about that? But another advice, if you are wanting to try Williams, there are some grocery stores that have a puck of it. Some pharmacies maybe. The internet definitely has it, but don't get it if it's more than $2 a puck, because you can get it for less than $2 a puck if you look around. So it's a ripoff. Especially, I mean, there's some people that are trying to sell one puck for $8. So just watch out for that. Look for something less than $2 a puck for a good price, at least for right now. So there we go. Great shave. Face feels great. Oh yeah, I can get out my post-shave product. I don't really like this scent. It's a little ladylike for me, but it works. It hydrates my face really well. A little bit of a pain to get out of the bottle sometimes. Kind of like a gel. It does have parabens, and so if you don't like those, do your research to see if you think those might be hazardous for your skin aging or whatever. I hear the original scent is kind of like a spicy, like Old Spice or something like that. I might have to try that. It's pretty inexpensive, so that's cool. Right, happy with that. I will go ahead and say that in terms of cost effectiveness, if you're really looking for a cheap way to go, this is an option. A better option, I think, is going to be Prix de Provence The number escapes me now. 63, I think, 62, 63, I think. And it's a French soap that is a very hard soap. And so that means you're using very little of it at a time. It may be $17 or $18, but it might last you 3 years. Whereas a puck of Williams, it looks like maybe 2 months. It's going to be the use of it. So by the time you multiply it out, the Prix de Provence, and it's a better performer. Prix de Provence is it's easier to whip up the lather than Williams, and I think has a great manly smell to it. Another one is Cella, C-E-L-L-A. It's a very old Italian soap that's very popular, and it if you get the 1 kilogram block, then that's going to save you money. It's a softer soap, and it will be easier to generate a lather, and it works really well. It has a cherry marzipan type almond scent that I really enjoy. And so those are a couple of inexpensive. If you're going for a pure budget, those are some things to look at. All right, excellent. I'm just going to clean up. And so there we go. After the stropping on the towel, there's the bloom, what it looks like these days after almost a month of uses. And looking good. The tips aren't really splitting too much, so I guess that's something that comes on down the line. Some boars are that happens quickly, some of them don't, it seems. So maybe that's where it is. The Afta works, put that away. And Blackland recommends unscrewing your razor a little bit so there's some air. And I like to give it a shake to maybe get a drop of water out or something like that. And then I just kind of tuck it up here on the shelf to await tomorrow. The air gap there helps maybe to prevent staining and good circulation and evaporation of those water bits. All right. So as far as the result, I did not get the same closeness as I did yesterday. I think it's probably my technique. I was a little bit haphazard and kind of fast, but that's fine. You know, it's kind of how I felt like shaving today. You don't always have to chase down the best cut, you know. So well, we'll see if I think the blade will probably bounce back, because since it's probably my fault today. So as mentioned during the shave, a couple of different ways I was thinking about hitting for the rest of August. Try to improve the face lather. Another direction was looking at the soak, hot water soak, versus just simply kind of loading from the puck. I wonder if you just have to soak Williams. There are a lot of shaving guys out there that say you don't have to soak any puck that's out there right now. Some guys say that all you do is just load for longer. So I wonder, maybe I see the kind of lather that I'm getting with Williams right now. So maybe I could go for like a 2-minute load and just see what happens instead of doing a soak. So that's another avenue I might head down. That might be more profitable instead of necessarily trying to nail down a face lather, a good face lather. So maybe I'll do that one first, and if I land on a good spot, then I can switch back to the face lathering. Anyway, there we go. So Austere August, the blade's working great. Really happy with it. Love the dart. It's a great piece by Blackland. The polished version is going to come out after, I think in the fall of this year, for people who want the shiny one. So there we go. I hope there was something in here that helped you. I'm Sugar Daddy Shaves. Good night. Take care.